1 hour 30, Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert says his country's offensive against the Islamic militant group Hezbollah will continue. He spoke during a surprise visit to the northern Israeli city of Haifa. The city has been hit by Hezbollah rockets in recent days. Israeli warplanes have attacked Lebanon for a seventh straight day. About 30 Lebanese died in Israeli airstrikes on Tuesday. Most of them were civilians. Lebanese military officials say an attack on a military base near Beirut killed at least 11 soldiers. Other reports say at least 6 people were killed when an Israeli bomb hit a house in a village close to the Israeli border. Reports say Hezbollah fired at least 100 rockets at northern Israel on Tuesday. A rocket attack on the town of Nahariya killed 1 person. The top diplomats from the United States and Egypt have publicly disagreed on the date for a proposed ceasefire between Israel and the Hezbollah. American Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and Egyptian Foreign Minister Abul Ghait held talks on Tuesday in Washington. They later held a press conference. Mr. Abul Ghait said a ceasefire must be agreed to as soon as possible. But Ms. Rice said a ceasefire must come only when conditions permit. She said the crisis should not be settled too quickly without it having any lasting value. Officials in Iraq say a bomb explosion has killed at least 54 people in the city of Kufa. Police say the bomb was hidden in a car. The attacker called people to the car with offers of work. The bomber killed himself in the attack. More than 100 people were wounded. Also, 7 policemen were killed in a bomb attack near the northern city of Kirkuk. In the southern city of Basra, at least 4 Iraqis were killed in a clash with British troops. Officials say the British soldiers raided a suspected weapons storage center. The United Nations says fighting in Colombia has forced about 1,300 people to flee their homes. The Colombian Army and the rebel Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia are fighting in the southern province of Nariño. The fighting has also trapped Indian communities in the area. The UN Refugee Agency says hundreds more Colombians are fleeing violence near the country's border with Panama. Fighting there has increased in recent weeks. The Colombian government army, rebels, and state-supported armed groups have been fighting for 40 years. Thousands of people are killed each year. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. The European Commission says it will give more than $3 million to Guatemala to assist survivors of a powerful storm last year. The Commission says the situation is still difficult for many Guatemalans, especially poor Native American communities. Commission officials say the aid will provide drinking water, health services, and farming support. The aid will help support about 80,000 Guatemalans who lost their homes and property after Hurricane Stan hit last October. Rescue workers are recovering the bodies of people who died when a powerful ocean wave hit the Indonesian island of Java on Monday. The 2-meter-high wave hit the coastal area of Pangandaran. Indonesian officials say the number of known dead is now 340. Survivors are searching among the dead for family members. At least 230 people are reported missing. Hundreds of people are injured, and more than 40,000 people have no homes. More than 20,000 people have been moved away. Officials say most of the victims of the tsunami were Indonesian. At least 100 people in North Korea are reported dead or missing following several days of heavy rains and flooding. 9,000 families are now without homes. The heavy rain started last Friday. The International Red Cross says the rain has washed away whole villages in 3 provinces in North Korea. The Red Cross of North Korea has sent about 2,300 workers to the flooded areas to help with rescue efforts. International leaders are again urging Sudan to accept a United Nations peacekeeping force in Darfur. The European Union Foreign Policy Chief, Javier Solana, says there is no other choice but for UN troops to replace the African Union peacekeepers. He spoke at a conference on Darfur that was held in Brussels Tuesday. The meeting was called partly to get more money for the AU forces currently in Darfur. Nations and groups have said they will give about $200 million to support the AU force. The United States is providing more than half of the total amount. The United States Senate has voted to provide more government money for research of special growth cells from human embryos. The research would be on human embryos gotten from fertility treatments that would otherwise be thrown away. Supporters of the new law say the research could help in the treatment of Parkinson's disease, diabetes, cancer, and other diseases. But opponents say taking special growth cells, known as stem cells, from embryos would be killing human life. The process destroys the embryo. The United States House of Representatives has already approved the bill. However, the White House says President Bush will veto the bill. And now, briefly, here again is the major news of the hour, read in VOA Special English. Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert says his country's offensive against the Islamic militant group Hezbollah will continue. Officials in Iraq say a bomb explosion has killed at least 54 people in the city of Kufa. And the United Nations says fighting in the southern part of Colombia has forced about 1,300 people to flee their homes. And that's the news in VOA Special English. From Washington, this is Jim Tedder reporting.